Hello everyone and welcome back to Starcraft 2 Wings of Liberty with Maze Cargo. Anyway, we're on to the Gates of Hell mission. Apparently we're going back to Char, the home, not the home world, but like I don't know, the current resting place of the Zerg or some shit like that. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it.
Char, if hell ever existed, this is it. Oceans of fire, tectonic storms, and an atmosphere that'll burn a man alive. But we've planned for all of that.
You can't plan for the Zerg, General. They ain't gonna fit into your nice, clean timetable.
I've led 5 separate invasions against the swarm. I held the line while you and your terrorist friends hid under a rock.
We're all aware of your victories, General. I've invited Commander Raynor here to assist us with any unforeseen contingencies.
Well, it sounds like you got it all figured out, Junior.
I have far too much invested in this undertaking to see it fail. Speaking of which, you might particularly enjoy this next step.
Valerian, I've just received a report you've taken half the fleet. Care to explain yourself, boy?
Father, I am about to accomplish that which you never could. Today, I will defeat the Queen of Blades and secure peace throughout the Dominion. By this act, the people will finally know that I am a worthy successor to you.
I love your gumption, son, but you're in way over your head. What makes you think you have the experience to...
He ain't alone, Arcturus.
Raynor. I don't know what gutter my son fished you out of, but even you've got to realize that treacherous bitch cannot be saved. And neither can you.
We'll see about that. And when this is over, you and me got a score to settle.
Everything I could have hoped for.
You're playing a dangerous game here, kid.
Prince Valerian, we have Zerg attack waves incoming.
Already?
Clear the bridge. I got a battle to win.
I'll see you boys on the ground.
Teams Bravo, Echo, and Delta have gone dark. Repeat, Alpha has lost contact with all elements.
Where's command? I got no support! I got Char coming out of my...
We're on fire! Repeat, we've lost all thruster power!
They're coming out of the ground!
Any station this net! Any station this net! We need fire support! We need it now! Ah!
Damn it. I told him a frontal assault wasn't gonna work. She was playing with us the whole time.
Well, brother, we're alive at least. Looks like the few battle groups that did make it to the surface are scattered all over the place.
Do you think death is the worst thing that can happen to you here? Infestation is what's coming for you. Soon all will serve the swarm.
She's trying to get in our heads, man. We gotta keep it together.
If we're gonna pull this caper off, we need to rally as many survivors as we can.
Commander, Dominion battle groups are still landing all around you, but they're in pretty bad shape and coming under heavy attack from the Zerg.
All right, let's get out there and rescue their sorry butts. We need to pull together a real fighting force, or we won't have a prayer of stopping Kerrigan.
Alright everybody, let's get into it. Now, I've already... This mission, it only took me a few tries. The first couple of tries, there's basically... Most of the way through the mission, there's a voice line that's basically says, we're gonna need to all in this. And in the context of the mission, it kind of just felt like the appropriate thing to do was to evacuate all of my bunkers and to take all the forces that I had, because I didn't exactly realize, it seemed like the sort of objective that would be timed, but it wasn't actually timed, and so I treated it like it was timed and failed it the first couple of times because of that. I also deeply regret not taking the science vessel, because, my god, the Raven... I tried, my second attempt, I tried massing Ravens and slow pushing with the turrets, and it just sucked because they had Broodlords and Corruptors. So, and Mutalisks. And, yeah, it... Unfortunately, everything I thought the Raven would be good at doing, it's kind of just not. So, definitely regretting not having the science vessels, because, to be entirely honest, if I had the science vessels on this mission, you could probably win the entire mission with like 5 Thors and 2 or 3 science vessels. If we're being blunt about it, you could win with that. You could also win with a couple of battle cruisers and some science vessels, but without the science vessels, it's really hard to go on the offensive like that. The strat that I end up using here is literally just Marine Medic. It's been a while since we used this strat, but the enemy forces aren't overly thick. It's more that they're everywhere, and you have to constantly contend with new waves of enemies. So you need, whatever it is, you need the ability to repair rather quickly, repair or heal rather quickly, and you need to defend your base. There is an expansion available on this mission. It's a little bit southeast of the main base, and it's very worth grabbing. And throughout this mission, there's a whole bunch of these drop pods full of units that appear constantly around your main base. These units are really useful if you can save them without losing your main army. In particular, there's one group of units that drops with siege tanks, and the first cluster of Marines is extremely valuable. After that, if you want to go for a starport, there's a free factory that drops to the west, and that one actually never gets attacked and destroyed, so you can take that at your own pace. But if you are going to go for a starport, just be aware you're tight on money, and a free you need a factory in order to build a starport, and a free factory appears in the west. So you're definitely going to want to go for that. As far as the other objectives, basically you want a cost-efficient defense. If you're going to lose forces pushing out to reclaim the drop pod forces, you need to make sure you don't lose anything at home. So if a bunker gets destroyed and you lose like a couple Marauders just to pick up a handful of Marines, it's really not worth. You've got to be careful with your resource trades on this mission. There's also, I recommend holding on to these vultures, because there's quite a few of these side objectives that are actually relatively unguarded. So you can use those vultures to sneak in the side objectives and weaken the enemy attacks. And that's definitely pretty useful. Siege tanks, probably just keep them at home for the vast majority of the mission. And I end up using the side emitters here to great effect. The first couple of attempts at this mission, I really struggled to hold the base, but on the final attempt, I literally just forgot that I had them. I put them in my base, and my god, that attack speed slow is so powerful that these bunkers can hold themselves no problem. As far as the final leg of this mission, I really recommend that you unsiege 2 or 3 tanks. You don't need all of your siege tanks, but you do need a couple, probably 4 tops, and you just slow push with a force that can heal itself. So you can bring some SCVs to heal some mech Terran, you can bring science vessels if you chose those like a smart person, or you can run Marine Medic like I did, and that also works quite well. Marauders are also pretty strong, but you're definitely going to want a lot of Marines in there. You have to deal with this infested Terran base, and you need the fire rate from Marines to clear this, or you need siege tanks. You either need ridiculous splash or really high fire rate to clear this. So just be wary with stuff like Marauders. Fire bats probably aren't bad here if you want to use those. And if you're running science vessels, you honestly might be able to rush this entire area with Diamondbacks too. I don't use those much, so that might be a completely BS claim, because I haven't used Diamondbacks since the trade mission. But I could imagine if you had the ability to heal them, you could use them as like a swarm unit, because they can move and shoot at the same time. Anyway, I imagine battle cruisers work quite well. I imagine Thors work quite well. I imagine Goliaths probably also work really well. The problem with Thors, Goliaths, and battle cruisers is that you need science vessels to support it, and I chose the Raven. So definitely, if you're looking for the easiest way to do this, or you're trying to get through it on Brutal, make sure you have the science vessel, because my god, the Raven is a mistake. It is really a mistake. The other problem with going for stuff like Marauders and Hellbats is that you're actually going to run into a lot of Mutalisks and even some Broodlords throughout this whole ordeal. So you really need your units to be able to shoot up. The longer you have to endure Broodlords dropping down on you, the harder this mission gets, rather substantially. So if you can't shoot up, you're doomed. That being said, you are not on a time limit, so don't be afraid to fall back and just let your units heal up. You'll notice here, I'm really just doing a real slow push, taking out one unit at a time until I can finally go in to finish off an important structure, and then from there, the rest of the things start falling rather easily. But don't push it, you're not on a time limit. Something that I have to relearn every single time that I play Terran is you really need to just wait till your forces are strong enough. And don't mind the friendly fire on the siege tanks there, killing like 20 Marines. Yeah, defenses kind of dropped there a little bit. The other thing that's worth noting is that you don't lose this mission when your structures are destroyed. You lose this mission when you run out of forces or when General Warfield gets overrun. As long as you're applying pressure to the Zerg, it seems like he does not get overrun. And really, I don't know, this mission, you kind of just need, as long as you have enough forces that can heal, you can just literally slow push your way through the whole Nidus network. It's not too heavily defended. But honestly, like an SCV, a Thor, and a siege tank with a supporting squad of like 10 Marines and a medic could probably take on the entire mission with proper micro. So I don't have proper micro. I need about 50 Marines and no siege tanks because my micro is bad. So you see me drop down another couple barracks here. And I'm going to put tech reactors on those as well so that I could just spam out 8 Marines at a time and dump all my resources into that. You also want to be a little bit careful. Something that you run into with Terran in the campaign is that you're always limited on resources. So you don't need to crank out a ton of SCVs and fully saturate all of your bases. You need to do this in PvP because you can always take future bases and then you can transfer the SCVs over there, and the strength of your economy is, you know, your ability to hold PvP fights. So it's all really important in the player versus player. In the campaign, it's way more about resource efficiency, down to the point where, since your SCVs cost money, it might actually be worth making like 30 SCVs just to saturate 2 bases. Especially in missions where you're going to end up taking 40 minutes to complete the mission. There's no harm in letting it take time to actually harvest the whole base full of resources. The other thing, my micro is absolutely terrible, but you're probably going to see me take a whole bunch of Baneling hits to the face. You really don't want to do that. It's got to be said. The Banelings, you need to, when you see Banelings coming, you need to stim back and then you need to target fire them down. One of the best things to do is to pull your forces back and then A-move in the opposite direction of the opponent. And what that does is basically, as the Banelings are chasing you, the Marines in the furthest back will find a target before the Marines that are furthest forward, rather, will have a target enter their range before the Marines that are further in the back. And your units will naturally split themselves out whilst stopping to attack a Baneling. The Banelings are faster than you on creep. So if you just try to run from them on creep, it's going to be a nightmare. Anyway, on the 3rd try, we did finally end up getting this mission. It's really tricky. It really just took patience. I'm kind of noticing that with the Terran. Whenever you're struggling with Terran, it's usually because you got in a rush and tried to move out before you had enough. At least every single time I've had problems in the Terran campaign, it's been because of that.
Stand your ground!
Heard you boys needed some help.
We came as fast as we could.
Ain't no time to be lying down on the job, General.
You magnificent son of a bitch. You're the last man I expected to see.
Boys, I hate to interrupt, but the natives are getting restless.
Thanks for the rescue, but I hope it ain't just the two of you.
General, you know I've always got a card to play.
You might be a damn pirate, Rainer, but whatever happens, you saved my boys today. And I won't forget that.
All in a day's work, General.
Man, what a series of cutscenes. This video is going to be like half cutscene. Anyway, it's really good though. I'm enjoying the cutscenes. I'm also enjoying this menu. Holy crap, I thought we were starting yet another cutscene, but no, it's just a menu. It's a really good menu. We got the news. We'll put Kate Lockwell on in the background. I've been Zacargo. This has been fun, and I think we're on the last stretch of the missions. If I remember right, there's supposed to be 25 missions in this campaign, so I guess we got 3 or 4 more to go. And, yeah, I can't wait. It doesn't really make sense that there'd be 4 missions after this, but I don't know. Maybe I'm bad at counting. That's entirely possible. I've been known to be bad at counting. So, anyway, we'll chalk it up to that. As I said, this has been fun, and I've been Zacargo, and I'll see you next time with the next StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty.